It's a lot happening. It's a New Hampshire primary.
Oh yeah,
Last time you
Judgment
were
Day.
on, people said I was making them depressed, talking about the
Oh,
reality. Yeah.
why?
Because we were basically saying this is what could happen.
Right.
You know, Trump could win. It looks like he's I don't know. I feel like Nikki Haley has a shot to take the New Hampshire primary.
Yes.
Like a big
Even if she
shot. Like,
gets, even if she gets close, if she's within single digits, she could take this to South Carolina, and depending on how she does there, she could take it to Super Tuesday, and who knows what'll happen. I mean, the Republicans in this country want Donald Trump to run again. Most of them don't even care that he's going to be a convict. They would elect him from prison, but that is also a snapshot of people. And remember, like Biden camp has not turned on the campaign spigot yet, really. They haven't turned on all the endorsements. They're waiting, they're biding their time for a moment to really turn on all the jets. And then once you start hearing Donald Trump over and over and over again, this is going to come down to 6 states. It's going to come down to just a few counties. So anything could happen.
yeah, I don't know why I've said this, but I felt this that Trump wouldn't be a factor in November. I still stand by that. 866-801-8255. I don't, however, agree with you that Republicans want Donald Trump to be the nominee. I don't think we're dealing with Republicans and Democrats. I do not believe that this is a partisan race. I don't believe that people are lining up under partisan banners. Trump has never been a Republican until he ran for president. He was a registered, to the point that his own children could not vote for him in the New York primary, which is a closed primary state. Why? Because the Trumps were Democrats in New York. They were always Democrats, and they didn't even feel the need to change their party affiliation because they did not think that their father would even have a shot because he wasn't running for president in 2016. He wasn't. It was a marketing ploy. It was another scheme of his, right? And then he effed around, and we found out, right? This people that sat home and wrote in Jill Stein and did all of anything to not vote for that the Hillary Clinton hashtag super predator hashtag, pizzeria purveyor. It was a weird election cycle to the point that he became president, and then the narcissism that was already there has taken on because he's a cult leader. He's not a Republican. He's the leader of a cult, and the cult is whiteness. And while it will not admit that, right, that they love Donald Trump because he makes them feel good about being white in America, that's what we're dealing with here. And it crosses party lines. It's not about a party. It's not partisan, Cena. It is American, really, is what we're looking at. And it's the quiet part said out loud. And so the question for the rest of us, and those of you who are supportive of Trump, who happen to not be white, identify, because it's a power construct. It's not an actual designation as a human being. 866-801-8255. What is the attraction for you? Because I'm hearing a lot of, the STEMI checks. The economy was great when Trump was in office. Dummies, we were in a whole ass pandemic. People weren't doing too much of anything. You were getting a check every month, especially if you had children. And yeah, I'm sure under those circumstances, most of you didn't have to pay your mortgage. Student loans were on pause. Yes, your personal economy might have seen a whole lot better during a damn pandemic. Had nothing to do with Trump. But if you're tying it to that, yes. The other wild card in this, Cena, and I'm just curious where people sit right now, 866-801-8255. Some of y'all have family members. We had a caller call up to say their son plays around with not voting, but then he votes. He says he's not going to vote, and then he does. He says he hates this person, but then he goes out and votes for them. Maybe there's some gamesmanship going on in families. I don't know. But what are you hearing on the streets? Because I feel like in many ways, this audience got their ear to the ground. This audience knows what time it is in everybody's community. You know what's up. What's the sense that you're getting? 866-801-8255. I'm not comfortable that we're going to have a big turnout in November. I'm not comfortable that People are enthusiastic about voting for Biden. To your point, Cena, the spigot has not turned on. Whether they turned on or not, I feel like people feel what they feel. In Gaza, what is happening, the decimation of those human beings is a problem for this administration. And the immigration issue is a problem, not just with white evangelicals and racists. Black people got a problem with the immigration problem. And black people also have a problem with the homelessness. None of that Trump is going to deal with. Let me just tell you, building a wall and all of this bull crap that they grifted people into paying Steve Bannon lots of money to build a wall that is crumbling because this is what they do. They don't know how to build anything. That wall didn't hold up. And then today, the Supreme Court that Trump pretty much laid down gave us Amy Coney Barrett and gave us Brett Kavanaugh and gave us Neil Gorsuch to go with Clarence Thomas and Alito and sometimes Roberts. Today, 5-4, they were like, cut that razor wire out. Please stop shredding people's bodies to smithereens trying to cross the border. They put a pause. They allowed for the Border Patrol people to cut the razor wire along the Texas border. 5-4, Amy Coney Barrett and John Roberts voted with the same people on the Supreme Court to say this is not humanity, what we're doing. And guess what, Cena? Trump's people going after Amy Coney Barrett. Why? Because she's got 2 black children that she adopted from Haiti, and they're saying she's being partial. This is a weird time. It's not partisan, though. I don't know where we are.
I hear you on all that. I do think the cult is real. The vehicle in which the cult uses is partisanship. And the cult will bring partisans. They will bring the Republicans along with them. And that I believe is what we're facing right now, because you have people that are kind of nihilistic, that don't really care much about other issues or what happens. What we have to depend upon, though, is that there are 10 states, roughly 10 states, and other issues that deal with reproductive rights that will hopefully galvanize a lot of people to come out. And again, I do really believe that we have a goldfish level memory in this country of what Trump sounds like when he is in public and when he is on social media and when we are inundated with his voice and his derangement all the time. It will infuriate people. You will have that reminder of that traumatic sound, that feeling that you had listening to him. It is visceral. People will be reminded of it. And again, I think there is the quiet part said out loud. Very, very true. The issues in Gaza, super true. I worry about the Gaza issue because Biden has doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on his support of Israel. And most of the globe is like, well, I think there's some real issues with the way Israel has responded with this. And now people are also waking up to the idea that you can separate Judaism from Zionism. That is real. We have the capacity as human beings to understand that there is a statehood movement and there is a religion that our friends, our families, our neighbors, our classmates, our coworkers share. And those same people may not support the decisions of a state. I grew up Muslim, but do I support the decisions that the Islamic Republic of Iran makes? Better damn believe I don't. They just executed a 23-year-old yesterday for protesting. And let's say another thing. Again, I said this, I think, last time I was on here. The money that goes to Hamas that's from Iran, or the strategic help that they get every now and then from Iran, that is robbing my family in Iran. That is robbing young people in Iran of a future. That is robbing the children and the adults and the economy. Everything in that country is being destroyed at the cost of trying to create this proxy war. And we could probably talk about the Houthi rebels as well in Yemen as well, because that's also a huge issue that's now being conflated with the Israeli war that's happening right now.
866
I don't want to depress anybody.
No. I mean, and let me say gratitude too, because it's wild, right, to have lived long enough to watch Roe v. Wade overturned, but also in the same time period, the ability to be able to tease out a conversation around what's going on in the Gaza Strip being absolutely inhumane and ridiculous, and you don't have to fear being labeled anti-Semitic because that noise is shut down. Like no one's having that. Yes, we can, two things can be true. We can absolutely have this conversation, and bolstered by Jewish people being in the streets as well. You know, this is not about Judaism. This is about inhumanity, and it doesn't matter who's flying a flag and what they're waving. You know, wrapping themselves in religion wise. This is wrong, and we should be able to say it's wrong with a full chest, full throat, and people should agree with that because it's wrong. It's wrong what's happening. So 866-801-8255 is the number, and not even to have to equivocate and to say, you always have to, I'm not anti-Semitic, but this is wrong. You shouldn't even have to start. You shouldn't have to start a sentence that way. This is wrong, period. The total decimation of an entire group of people in 2024 who have no bombs and this is wrong. You're killing innocent human beings. At some point, I heard there might be another ceasefire, but we have folk in the Gaza Strip with donated SIM cards just so they can keep in touch with their family members. There are people in the United States that don't even know whether their family members are alive or not. And they had nothing to do with what happened October 7th. You're not going to level that against 2 million people. You just cannot. It makes no sense.